congratulating Senate Republicans on the party's economic success this year. He's vowing to continue the GOP winning streaks well into the midterms.
Madeline Rivera joins us now from Washington with the latest. Good morning, Maddie.
Good morning. The president had a celebratory dinner with Republican lawmakers last night. He began by praising GOP senators for passing the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. President Trump singled out Senate Majority Leader John Thune for ushering the package through the chamber despite a slim majority. He also thanked by name House Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, and a few others. The GOP rescission bill, which Congress passed this week, was top of mind as well. It claws back $9 billion from foreign aid and public broadcasting. The president says he's expecting more rescission bills, all of which he hopes will register well with voters next year.
This is really a celebration because we hit a lot of home runs and we're going to keep hitting them. I think we have a chance in the midterms. I don't understand why they say that when you win the presidency, you always almost automatically lose the midterms because nobody's had a more successful period of time than we have.
President Trump is also celebrating the first major cryptocurrency law in U.S. history. He signed the Bipartisan Genius Act on Friday. It regulates a type of cryptocurrency called stablecoins.
The Genius Act creates a clear and simple regulatory framework to establish and unleash the immense promise of dollar-backed stable coins. This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself.
Another thing of note, last night the president said 10 more hostages from Gaza will be returning shortly. It comes as his administration continues to push for a 60-day ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Charlie, Rachel, and Griff.
Thank you, Maddie.
Thanks, Maddie. You know, that bill is pretty extraordinary because, of course, Trump is the first person to come along, president to come along and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to regulate this and make it so that people know what to expect if they buy Bitcoin in the United States. But it was overwhelmingly bipartisan.
Right.
You had Democrats in both chambers, huge numbers of Democrats.
More than 100.
Which might explain, as you noted, his tie, which is red and blue. Yeah. By the way, he also said that the Genius Act was named after him.
Yeah, I love it. Taking a victory lap. But you're right, Charlie. This is groundbreaking because this is the first piece of legislation that governs the issuance of cryptocurrency, otherwise known as these stable coins. And now, for the first time, as I understand this legislation, and you're right, Rachel, by the way, the bipartisan support, 102 Democrats got on board for this because they understood the significance of bringing cryptocurrency under the U.S. umbrella. And as I understand it now, this bill would allow banks, credit unions, and other financial institutions to begin issuing a stable coin in cryptocurrency backed by things like the U.S. dollar.
Well, all of this business in cryptocurrency was going offshore. Because we didn't have the Genius Act until yesterday. Here's what David Sachs, he's our AI and crypto czar. That's never happened before. Right. That's the first time an administration has appointed somebody to do that. Of course, he was at that event. He helped usher this through. And here's what he had to say.
This was the first time that we ever had crypto legislation signed into law, thanks to President Trump's leadership. This was a campaign promise. He said that he was going to make the United States the crypto capital of the planet. And under the previous 4 years, all the innovation was being driven offshore. And this is the beginning, Jesse, of a revolutionary new payment system. It's going to be cheaper, it's faster, it's more direct. That's going to bring down costs for consumers across the world, and it's going to strengthen the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, you know, when David Sachs is talking about this being a win, look at just what this one, whether you love Donald Trump or not, whether you hate him, he had a massively successful win economically and legislatively. We can show you. First, start with the gas prices. People are traveling for the summer. You got $3.16 average price now per a gallon, 10% decrease from same time. Retail sales increased slightly, but increased. Inflation under 3%. International financial agreements, $2 trillion invested. We saw that. And of course, tariffs, $100 billion in duty collection. So much so that the Wall Street Journal, that once had labeled Trump the tariff man, admitted in their pages that he was winning on tariffs. Tariffs were succeeding.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also interesting to see, we're going to put up on the wall just a bunch of the different wins, because it's really hard to think of it all. I mean, it's only been 6 months. I mean, it hasn't been that long. These are, and as we were talking about before, these are all promises he made and these are promises that he's kept in just the first half of the year of his first year in office. So you have the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Laken Riley Act, the Take It Down Act, the Genius Act. He campaigned a lot on fentanyl. And by the way, part of the tariffs that he's threatening now on Mexico and punishing them with is about fentanyl. So the Fentanyl Act, the Rescissions Act of 2025. So lots of big wins. That's not even the beginning of it.
No, and that Fentanyl Act not only does it send a message to Mexico, also to China,
sure,
where the precursors for that drug are coming from. The crypto bill, by the way, also take that China because they wanted to be the world leader. Now we are with this legislation. And it's worth noting those last three things, the $9 billion Rescissions Act, the HALT Act, and of course the crypto bill, all legislatively got through this week.
Yeah. And don't forget, you guys, all of this, the backdrop of this is 0 people getting across our border.
Right. The
biggest promise, right?
Yeah, the most important one.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.